Hello, everybody. It is Monday night.
Shablam!
Sketchy Live Monday.
It's Sketchy Live Monday, the podcast. You made it.
Yes.
We got lots to talk about tonight. An interesting topic.
I think.
Eddie B and I were trying to figure out exactly, what do we talk about? And holy cow, I mean, yeah. So we're going to talk about things. We're going to talk about it once we get back from I have dog hair in my mouth.
Great.
Yeah. It's Dog Hair Monday. Sketchy Live.
We'll be right
Johnny
back.
Jalopy, Eddie B. Hang out. Hey, what's going on? It's Sketchy Live Monday.
Hey, guys.
Can you give us a volume check? Check.
Check.
Let us know if you can
Check
hear
1, 2.
us.
Check
We'd love to
1,
know.
2.
Hey, you've made it to the let's call it custom culture, hot rod, classic car, wife and husband,
All of it.
singles for the single ladies, all of it, everything that covers automotive stuff, from fun stuff to crazy to wacky to nutty. We try to cover it all,
To art, to movies,
and
to
then
talk,
we draw
to
stuff.
guests.
So we drew last Monday, and tonight we're podcasting. So I am Johnny Jalopy, hot rod artist, builder, and formerly known as a guy that used to occasionally go on a full custom garage with Ian Roussel, occasionally, but also draws and does things. And with me, as always, the beautiful, the lovely, the sexy, the talented, the lynch mob, pin of all.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. Like Johnny was saying, we were talking about different topics to do tonight, and he was like, "Why not talk about trucks?
Why not trucks?"
And we have a cool who, what, where, when, why, how. And I think we're just going to run through it, but we do want to hear from you guys too.
Let's make this interactive, because
it's got to be, because I don't know anything about trucks.
Sure you do.
Self-admitted. I don't know much.
Listen, when I first met you, one of the when we started talking cars, when we really started having conversation about the automobile,
right?
Vehicles. Let's just go vehicles
in general.
You said my dream is always was to own a black truck. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
And now we have one.
Do we?
Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
We do.
Not to the liking that you would like, but you had this idea that trucks were cool.
Right.
And I was like, why a truck? Because I thought it was kind of odd. Here's. Do
you remember what I told you? Do you remember the reason?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you say why. Because I'm going, lady, got kids, that kind of thing. A truck is not real practical for a mom. So therefore, your response was?
My response was, when I was growing up, my dad always had a truck.
Yeah.
And he was a fix-it guy, and he got stuff done, and he used it to help people and move furniture.
What kind of truck did your dad have?
He had an Isuzu pickup.
Okay.
So it was small. I know. It was a company truck.
Okay.
It was small. But
this is going to be interesting, because now I'm going to have to ask your dad what kind of vehicles he drove for company trucks or vehicles. I swear he said he had a station wagon or something.
Well, that was our family car, was a station wagon.
Okay. Is that the one he rolled the 50-gallon drum of
probably
oil to the
probably
basement? Okay.
Don't be selling my dad out.
I think the what's the rule of law where it's
if it's after so many years.
Yeah, what is that called?
Everybody else involved is now
dead.
What
is that called? It's called
statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations or
limitations.
It's statute of limitations is over. So anyway, so tonight the topic of subjective trucks.
Yay!
Ha-ha!
Let me tell you
who's on the broadcast.
Yes, we've got Jim Pollen.
Because
hello.
listen, nothing's more important to Sketchy Live than you guys. You make Sketchy Live what it is.
You do.
I think this is the biggest difference between us and all the other podcasts out there. Joe Rogan doesn't read comments. We do.
We do.
Fly on the Wall with David Spade and
Dana Carvey.
They don't read comments. Maybe after. They have a little segment. Hey, if you want to talk to Conan, you know who does? Sketchy Live talks.
Us.
That's right. Go ahead.
So we're giving a shout out tonight to Jim Pollen from Hobo's Hot Rod Garage,
First guy
Forest Heads, New York.
First guy on the board, by the way.
929.
I knew he'd be on because he owns a truck.
He does.
Dodge.
And a pretty cool truck, too.
Dodge. It's a Dodge. Yeah.
We've got Gordon L.
What up?
Hello from Gordon in Central Washington. Welcome.
Hello. Do you own a truck, Gordon? Let us know.
We've got Lizzie Daughtry joining us. Hello, Johnny and Eddie B.
Lizzie Daughtry.
My two favorite peeps of the week.
What is up?
Rob Earl from Hunter Valley, Australia.
Rob, what's going on?
Tuning in.
Australia has different kinds of trucks. They have utes out there. Utes.
Okay. We'll talk about that.
We'll have to talk about that.
Sam Metro. Hola to two beautiful peeps from Claremont, Florida.
Claremont, Florida.
Our brother.
Sam Metro.
Claremont, Florida. Lizzie said, hello, my two favorite peeps of the week.
Thanks.
Sam said, audio's good. Robert Earl says, loud and clear.
Roger
Lizzie
that.
says, nice and clear. Yes,
Yay.
finally.
Finally. So we keep it simple.
Jim said, sounds good tonight.
One camera, one audio.
That's it.
Don't add anything else. We're going to throw some pictures up in a minute, so we'll see if that screws everything up. But hey, we're going to keep going.
We actually have my son maybe looking into building us a desktop computer so we don't have these issues. We can hardwire to internet.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Bob Brandel joining us. I can hear you now.
Brandel.
Welcome, sir.
What's up?
Hal Schaefer, hello from Georgia, real deal. How about it, Carburetor Man?
Hal Schaefer, thank you so much for the really cool t-shirt you sent me. I will be wearing it with pride.
Yes.
So thank you so much. That was so awesome of you.
We appreciate you. How?
So if you're looking for carburetors or anything hot rod, go check out
the
Hal
Carburetor
Schaefer,
Man.
the Carburetor Man.
Got it all.
How about it?
Paul Marziani joining us from Bradenton, Florida. Welcome.
What's up, Paul?
We've got Diane Kinnery joining us. Welcome.
Hey, Diane.
Lizzie is reminding everyone, this woman is on fire. Everyone, please go hit the thumbs up and show Johnny and Eddie B the love and support for them.
Please show some thumbs. We always forget to do that.
Please show some thumbs. We've got Cameron McNulty.
Show us your thumbs.
Our daughter from Wyoming.
Allow me to.
We've got Mary Evans, probably Dan and Mary Evans from Dunedin, Florida. Hello, guys. Welcome.
What's up?
We've got George the Glass Man joining us from the People's Republic of Illinois.
What?
Welcome, sir.
What?
Bob said, JJ, when are you going to make a logo for your wife? You're missing a big market.
She has her own logo.
She
has her own logo and her own apparel.
Here's my logo. I have a t-shirt on the website as well.
Listen, go to johnnyjalopy.com.
Check it out.
Check it out. There is a t-shirt specifically that has Eddie B's logo on it.
You know what I do want though?
And it's Eddie B in the car. Your own beanie?
Let's
make that happen.
I want an Eddie B beanie.
Let's do that. So it's the Eddie B what is it? What's your t-shirt?
It's shotgun. It's the first one in the shotgun series because we were supposed to do more, but it's guys dig chicks riding shotgun.
We do.
Yes,
we do.
So yes, we do have some ladies merch, but honestly, these shirts are designed for a guy to wear as well. So
yeah, no, it's cool. It's got a really cool.
It's got me on it.
Got a really cool vehicle.
Our 51 Chevy.
Yeah, I might even be able to pull it up and see if we can.
You probably can pull it up.
Show it.
Sam Metro said, love hot rod trucks. I had a 47 Ford panel and a 58 Chevy panel. George Bennett joining us. Hello from Milan, Michigan, and Hot Rods Motorcycle Awareness and Suicide Prevention Foundation. Welcome. We appreciate you stopping by.
Let me go back and I'm going to share my screen really quick.
Okay.
And show everybody. If it'll let me.
We've got Tom Walters from Jersey. Welcome to the broadcast.
Maybe it won't let me share.
Gordon said they do have a few trucks Awesome.
Can you?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
See the love tonight.
Rob Earl said, "Yep, that's it, Johnny. We call our trucks Utes, as it's short for utility vehicles." Oh, okay,
Yep,
that makes sense.
Told
that makes
you.
sense.
You just thought Johnny Jalopy was a silly man.
We've got A.S. Art Smith in the house,
What up,
and on
Art?
time this week, Art has a pretty cool truck too.
Yes. We're talking trucks.
Pretty
Art
cool
has
truck.
and a great story.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think he told.
He did
on our very first time we had him on the broadcast years ago. So you'll have to go check that out. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I don't know if anybody can go to me. Go to my camera. There we go.
There you go.
Oop. It's kind of hard to see with that.
It is kind of hard to see.
There
I am. I got an Itty Bee front logo, and then we've got the design on the back.
She's in there.
I'm in there. That's me.
We might have to do a full color. I don't know.
We'll see. Sandy Ayers joining us. Howdy from Texas.
What's going on?
Paul Marziani said, I drive a 1989 F-150 straight 6 and 5 speed. Sweet.
Stick. Drives a stick shift.
Dale Renner. Hey guys. Phew. I made it. Dale.
Yes, you did.
I haven't seen Dale on here in forever. That guy is always busy, always at the track, always doing something
drag racing all the time.
I love it.
You don't understand. Dale Renner will always be on the edge of his seat.
Jim said I can look at the Itty Bee logo to see if I can bead roll it. Oh boy.
That would be cool, man.
I don't know if we need all that.
Yeah. We need to make a sticker.
A sticker and a beanie.
Okay, the next sticker mule thing that comes up. Oh, no. We're going to do a keychain too. Yeah, okay.
I don't
Remind
know
me.
a keychain.
We're going to do keychains.
In any case.
That way they can hang you around there.
In any case. So that's who we've got on so far tonight.
Everyone, welcome to the show. We're so appreciative that you're here.
Yes.
Tonight's topic, trucks.
Yes.
And the reason why we picked it is because, again, Indy B and I, early in the conversations of our relationship, that was one of the things, as you know, she found out I like cars. I found out that she didn't know a lot about cars, which was cool, but very receptive and wanted to know stuff. But one of the questions I asked was, if you had a dream vehicle, what would it be? And you said, didn't you say lifted? Or like a 4x4? Like in my first thing that popped in my head was the Back to the Future black Toyota that Marty McFly wanted was the kind of truck I thought I saw.
That isn't necessarily what I wanted. The influence that I had was my dad with a truck who worked construction, got stuff done. Right. My sister's husband, Bill, had a truck.
Truck guy.
Total truck guy. And he was a workaholic. Well, not really a workaholic, but like always out doing stuff, hauling stuff. And then my brother, Steven, very much, manly, total, always doing stuff, car related.
Will your other brother be upset that you didn't name him?
He did not have a truck.
Okay. He won't be upset?
No, I think he had, the heck did he have? I don't know. They drive Lexuses and stuff. So I don't know. So those.
Adamant about it.
No. Those were my influences.
No. Okay. Right. And then you met me and I was driving.
You had a Ford Ranger. You know what? It was still a truck.
It was a Ranger.
And I'll be honest with you, and you know this about me because you participated in some of it with me, but I moved all the time. How many times have we moved since we've been? 3.
A few times.
Probably 3.
Yeah.
But I used to move all the time with the kids. Like every year my lease was up because I was renting with the kids, I would move and I'd constantly have to rent.
I'd also like to back up the fact that even though I had the Ford Ranger, I also had a 40s Ford
truck cab. Yeah.
Truck cab that you were like, oh. And then also I had a CJ7 that you were also liked that one too. Yeah. And I've always loved with the big tires and all the top was never on it. And I took you for a ride down by the beach. And right there, I was just like, hooked her.
And I will be honest and say this, but my high school crush, this guy Mike, had an orange and white Volkswagen van.
All right, but that's not anything what we're talking about.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So then I came in with the manly Jeep, lifted, big giant tires, skull on the front.
Yes.
Skull painted on the hood.
Yeah.
You were like, oh. Someone's dangerous.
And I still to this day have not owned a truck that I drive. I've never driven a truck.
You've driven my truck.
But not mine. But not it being mine. I decided instead to get the Jeep.
Yeah, which was you had a
that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. My taste had changed.
And had to make sure it was the same color
as
mine.
A truck does symbolize to me a work vehicle. Well,
you said
somewhat utilitarian,
right? So that was cool. But at least in the conversation, you said truck. So I thought, okay, cool. That's something to work with because I too have always been a fan of trucks. I love trucks as well.
Where did that come from? Did your dad have a truck when you were growing up?
Yes, my dad had we had a small Toyota pickup truck that we went cross country and stuff. But my grandfather had an old it was I forget what the model was, but it was an early 60s the Toyota D1. It was the early 60s Toyota Datsun pickup truck.
Oh.
But he had hopped it up and it had side pipes and it was metallic blue. It was lowered to the ground, fat tires on it, mag wheels. Like my grandpa was old, but he didn't act like an old. I think that's where I get that part from. I'm named after him.
Maybe.
Is that he never, even when he was old, he didn't act like an old man.
Like you.
He was like, Johnny, let's go get some, you want to get a soda pop? And I'm like, let's go. And then he'd take me in his truck and I could barely see over the dashboard and he'd haul ass everywhere.
But also in the area where you lived, there was probably a lot of trucks for crops and
a lot of work trucks,
hauling horses and farms and stuff like that.
Also in the area that I grew up in was a lot of lowriders and stuff like that.
Well, that came later on. So
no, not later on. During that time. Okay. What time do you think this is? When did you think lowriding started?
I don't know.
Oh, you may need to do some research.
I don't know.
It wasn't like it started in the 80s or something.
Well, I did look up the very first truck. And okay. It was in 1896. Sure. The Daimler Motor Lastwagen is the world's first truck manufactured in the year 1896 by Daimler Motor in Gesellschaft and designed by Gottlieb Daimler. So this must be something overseas.
I'm going to, well, not necessarily, but yes. And probably that Daimler is the same guy that's Daimler Chrysler and the Daimler. Yeah. So, yeah, but purpose was, and you're saying motorized truck. Yes. So realistically, if you look at anything that was horse-drawn that would put something in the back of the buggy, that buggy was a truck.
Well, it says here Ford made the first factory-built pickup truck. In 1925, Ford introduced the Model T Runabout with pickup body.
Sure.
Widely recognized as the first mass-produced pickup truck in the United States.
In the United States.
Yeah.
But there are other countries that probably had pickup trucks before that. But again, what I'm saying is the idea of throwing something in the back of something and hauling it somewhere, which is essence the truck. I bet let's go back to, horse-drawn things that would have been, couldn't technically Chariot be considered a truck?
I guess. What's the definition of a truck?
Look it up. I'm going to assume it's hauling something.
What is the definition?
What is your opinion out there, folks? What do you think? Would you consider, the earliest stages of those early horse-drawn buggies? If something was thrown in the back, wouldn't you say that's a truck?
It says here, a large, heavy motor vehicle used for transporting goods, materials, or troops. Second definition is an undercarriage with 4 to 6 wheels pivoted beneath the end of a railroad
car. And
I
think truck is something, maybe a term that Americans have, because again, they're called different things in different countries too. But America definitely latched on to the truck as
origin English
as its,
truckle. Well, a wheel or a pulley.
Well, again, your origin English means the word truck is English.
Middle English denoting a solid wooden wheel, perhaps short for truckle in the sense of wheel pulley. The sense wheeled vehicle dates from the late 18th century.
Yeah. Oh, Webster, What are we going to do with you? Again, I think it's something that's, when you're throwing something in the back of,
Well, that's your definition, but that doesn't mean that's the
definition. What a truck is
to you, perhaps.
So tell me how it's not that.
Well, I could throw something in the back of my Jeep. Does that make it a truck?
At the moment, it's thrown in the back.
There's hatchbacks. Does that make it a truck?
It's closed in.
That can't be. Open. That can't be your only definition.
It's open.
I call
open.
I call
open
nah.
cargo area.
I call nah.
with a seat in front truck.
That ain't the definition.
And again, what?
You look it up. Just saying.
Where did you look up?
I just
maybe as your daughter would say, you need to look in the Urban Dictionary. It'll tell you that with exact definition.
Wesley Wilkerson joining us. Trucks, and more trucks. Mine is purple. Very cool. I love trucks. David Iyer, hello from the high desert of Southern California. Welcome. Rich CA sending love from Cape Coral. My dad had a 68 Ford F-150 Ranger XLT.
Yes.
60s. Rangers.
60s trucks, man. And again, let's go back. So let's go back 50s. Let's go back, 30s pickups. You know what I'm saying? Here, let's do a little taste palette thing here. So do
you think that those early models were used to transport stuff? Like, did somebody be like, Henry, I'm moving, would you grab your automobile?
Yes, they were for moving things.
Okay,
let's see if we can find one of those early moving thing vehicles. I'm sure I've got a picture of it. Oh, look, there's one there. 29, 28 they were moving stuff. That was a farm vehicle.
That was a farm vehicle?
Sure. Nobody in the city was buying something to move stuff unless they had a business. You know what I mean? And then the custom guys took it and did some fun stuff with it. I mean, the whole idea was these were utilitarian vehicles. Let's see if we can find some more earlies. Those are early. Come on.
Okay.
Look.
That was actually transporting another car.
Yeah.
Was that the first car transporter?
That's like the salt flats or something. Beautiful trucks. Mm-hmm. Beautiful trucks. More beautiful trucks. Look at that. Come on. That's utilitarian.
I guess.
It's utility.
I don't know. I mean, families going anywhere? Were they using the sedan deliveries, or what were they using for families? Just sedans, 4-doors?
Well, again, for family cars, people were buying big 4-doors and stuff like that. But if you had to haul something,
say you're a farmer with a family,
yeah,
are you getting a truck so you can use it on the farm?
I bet you had both.
You think a farmer could afford both?
No, I bet a farmer would buy a truck and he'd throw his kids in the back.
Okay, my dad did used to do that with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
that I could see.
So again, the truck itself, I think, design wasn't based on anything other than work. That was the concept of truck. No different than the horse-drawn carriage. The difference between the stagecoach, right?
Okay.
Versus the carriage that they would use, or wagon that they would use. Wagon, there, a wagon does what?
Carries
station
stuff.
Wagon probably has something to. I'm sure there's a word. The station means something in front of the wagon, but the wagon part is the back end is the utilitarian part. Dodge Power Wagon was what it was called. It wasn't called a truck. You know what I mean? So I think there's some.
Do you think open bed symbolizes truck then?
Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Okay.
You don't?
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but I mean, are there other cars with open bed, like that van thing you showed me? That's considered a truck?
It's a truck.
So it wouldn't be a van, even though the front part of the body is van-like.
But it's not a van; it's a truck.
So you consider that a truck?
Yeah. So it's even like you take the microbuses that had the truck bed. Mm-hmm. That's not a bus. That's a truck. And they called it something different. I forget what they called those. The ones with the truck bed on it was called something different. In fact, buses had different, like there was a transporter, which was something that had multiple seats, and that's, then there was like what Dan has, where it was just an open cavity and you throw things in it.
Right.
That it was different versions. And really, realistically, as you got into like the El Caminos and Rancheros and stuff like that,
so that's considered a truck.
It is a truck.
It is.
The reason why they
according
started
to your definition,
the reason they started building those was to still have the best of both worlds. You could have the ride of a car with the utility of a truck.
How was it the ride of a car? Was the chassis different?
The chassis was a car,
and that was was strong enough.
For instance, El Camino. I think El Camino shared the same chassis and I think even floors as the wagon of the same year, because there's a spot back there where there's an actual like hidden, they called it, I forget, they called it like a hidden box or whatever, had a little door on it. And the reason why it was there, it was the footwell from the back seats, because it's the same chassis, same. So they just took and rebodied from the back of the back seats and created a truck.
I thought the whole reason to have the truck, like today's trucks, aren't they built differently? Aren't they on a stronger, bigger?
Not all of them.
Chassis?
Not all of them. So let's take, for instance, they did do that with like the Jeep truck, right? They had to do a different frame because it's longer. But when you take, okay, so like an F-150, definitely that's its own
deal.
Deal. But if you take, you know, for instance, like the Hyundais and stuff that are now making trucks, or the Honda Ridgeline, it probably shares the same chassis as an Accord. It just has a truck body.
And do you consider the Honda Ridgeline something utilitarian?
It is a truck. It is for someone who
buys. Are people buying that to haul hay?
We just watched our nice neighbors who were elderly folks who bought one of the new Mavericks, the Ford car truck Maverick. And what did they put in the back of their truck?
A garbage can.
They put a garbage can and some stuff from potting soil. It's being used as a truck. Now they have in their driveway, they have a Honda Accord. Why didn't they take that? Because they don't want to put potting soil in the back seat or the trunk. Why? Because a truck, you can spray out the back and boom, you're done.
What I'm saying, as far as the El Camino goes,
yeah,
if somebody's using that as a truck, it's
a truck.
Can it support the weight of moving furniture? Can it support the weight of carrying a car motor?
Okay, no different than the different truck. And don't forget, our people were on. You're getting wrapped up in this. People are saying
wrapped up,
but don't forget they're different.
Fired up.
For instance, there's the F-150. It only has a certain weight capacity. The F-250 has a different weight capacity and towing capability, same as the F-150. As you go into the F-350, there's a specific towing capacity and a specific weight limit that it has.
As you
go into the larger models, it's larger engine, trans, axles, frame, suspension, all that's changed.
I thought the F-150, F-250, F-350 was based on that vehicle's GVW. I didn't think it was hauling capacity. So that's what the difference is?
Well, you used your insurance terminology, the GVW. What does that stand for?
Gross vehicle weight.
Correct. So as it's going up and getting heavier, why would they make it heavier? Logic now. What would be the logic?
Okay, for towing.
So it can tow. It's more stable to tow bigger, heavier things and to carry bigger, heavier things. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me go back to here. Okay, so we've got Sam Metro said Daimler was the originator of the Mercedes-Benz.
It is.
Okay.
That is correct.
Sandy Iyer said my first truck was a 59 Chevy in 1977. I paid $75 for it. Wow.
Love those stories. My mom tells me that. She used to tell me, I bought my 57 Chevy Canary Yellow.
Oh, Lizzie's giving us some stats. We have 13 in the chat and 7 thumbs up. Come on, peeps. Let's give them some love.
Let's get some love in here.
Rob Earl, I'd say they were perhaps carts back in the old days. Okay.
Right. Yeah. But again, you were still, if it was, and again, horsepower, there's where the horsepower. So to pull your family farm goodies, you'd have one horse pulling a wagon, right? That you could throw hay.
So were they
stuff.
Like, hold on, how fast does that cart go?
No.
And it depends on how many.
No, not how fast. Then the next horse, you add 2 horse. Now your pulling capability is even bigger because you have 2 horses. Then you add 4 horses. Now you have 4 horses pulling a wagon. You can pull huge stuff. Now you have 6 horses. And then you drop the regular pony and you grab some pulling horses, like some Clydesdales, and then you throw 7,000 kegs and 15 million beers in the back of it.
That's one hell of a party.
And then, holy cow, those horses, those 2 Clydesdales are pulling the weight of 4 regular horses.
And isn't it nuts that they still use horsepower? Because it goes back to like what you were just talking about.
That's where it stems from.
Back to the wagons.
Yeah. Hello, that's where the trucks came from.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon.
Are you now agreeing with me that the wagon is the first truck? Thank you.
Yes. Wesley Wilkerson said, oh, wait.
What did he say?
He said, Tom Walter said, horses pull wagons. Yes. Wesley Wilkerson said, the drawback to driving a 4x4, new tires, new rims, new lug nuts, new lug bolts, mounting, balancing, labor plus warranty plus tax, $2272.84.
Yes, sir. That is the problem with driving a vehicle with bigger wheels and bigger tires. Not to mention, then you got to worry about tire clearance.
Yeah.
You got to work offset. Yeah. I'm one of those foolish men that did that with his vehicle because it looks goofballish without the bigger tires and wheels on it.
I still have my original tires.
My Jeep truck. But I was happy that the gentleman at the when I was at the dump yesterday or last week.
Oh, yeah. You did share the story with me.
Said, hey, man, it's so cool to see somebody actually using their Jeep truck as a truck. I'm like, well, what else would I be using it for? He goes, I don't know. A lot of guys you hardly see any dirt on them.
It's more of a luxury vehicle.
I'm like, well, the reason I have this thing is because when we were looking at vehicles, I had thought about getting a different truck or a different vehicle when I bought the Jeep because I was done with trucks. I'm so mad at Chevy with my truck baloney that happened. Your
Silverado
story. Pissed because I had a truck of my dreams and they screwed me. Anyways, I was like, I'm getting a Corvette and I'll be that guy. I had my New Balance were on order. My jean shorts were
your white socks.
No. They were totally. I had in my eBay cart or my Amazon cart, I had like 15 not cardigans, but anyway, just kidding. Any Corvette owner, sorry, I was just kidding. I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
We've got Barbara Johnson joining us. My second mom from New Jersey.
Hello,
she's tuned
Barbara
in.
Johnson.
She loves her pickup. She's
a truck pickup lady. That's right.
Yep, she is.
Yeah. Because they're more, and she's got a camper shell on her, so she's got the best of both worlds. Yep. So if she needs to utilitarian it and pop a camper shell off, she's got room.
Right.
If she wants to make sure things are safe and not getting in the rain and in the muck and the mire, boom, she's got her camper shell on it. They're great.
Yeah,
trucks are the best.
Chris Smolinski joining us. Hi from Detroit.
What's
Welcome,
up, Chris Smolinski?
We've got Michael. Hey, gang. Hope all is well with you too. We are doing great. Tom Walter said Beverly Hillbillies truck.
Yeah, come on. That was a truck. That wasn't a car.
Yeah. And they put people in it.
And furniture and
everything else.
Cement palms.
James Olchin joining us. Hello from Lincoln, Nebraska. God's prayers for all.
What up, Lincoln?
Welcome.
Nebraska.
Lincoln. Michael Overby. What's happening? Every family should have a truck. It would keep those of us who have them from doing favors.
Oh, God. Thank you, sir. Yes, I agree. That is the downside of a truck. You suddenly become the person that can take stuff.
My daughter, every other week.
Is there any chance you can drive down
like
3 hours, then go get a 5 foot, or it was like a 86-foot sectional?
And she paid $6 for it.
It's free. It's only got one giant dinosaur poop on it.
Oh, she's so funny.
It's free.
It's always something we got to pick up.
Yeah.
Cracks me up.
I'm like, I don't have a very large truck bed.
Yeah, we got a short bed.
That's why I got the smaller bed too. It's not very big. You can't really fit much to it. Anyways,
Michael Overby said this farmer has a 4-door crew cab for the family.
That's right. That's the beauty of the things that have changed. As we got into the 70s, as they started offering extra cab, crew cabs, and that kind of stuff. But I'll guarantee you there were farmers that were out there running just a regular old pickup truck.
They probably put a family of 7 in that front seat. It was the bench seats
I'll guarantee. And Yankin and Newborn probably had been riding in the back of the truck.
Yep.
I'm telling you. That's why that kid didn't have to have any shots.
Right. And, drinking out of the water hose.
That's right. Fell on his head 19 times and he's a doctor now.
Michael said it wasn't until the late 70s with the Urban Cowboy movie is when trucks started to move off the farm and construction sites. I did watch Urban Cowboy.
Okay, so let's go that genre. The Fall Guy had a badass truck. Come on, that's 70s. John on the chips with the blue and the silver stripes lifted up, chrome everywhere. Here's what I will say. This is John's opinion, and I just thought it was a reel or a TikTok, and another guy that's like a truck little thing I follow. He does mostly mini trucks, but I agree with him on this point, which is, can we bring back the way we used to do 4x4 trucks with big tires, regular size rims, tons of chrome, and they were cool, not the squatty thing and the low profile off-road tires. And if you have them, I'm not bagging on you. I'm just saying that look of that old school lifted with the big 4,000 KC lights on it, whether he had more lights than, and those trucks needed. And listen, those trucks never probably went off-road. I remember my uncle had it was a 70, I think it was like 75, 76, maybe a little 77. It was a K5 Blazer, lifted, had big tires, 15-inch rims.
Well, the Blazer wasn't a truck.
It was take the back end off. It's a truck. It's 2 doors. You take the back seats out, you got a truck. Boom. Yes, it was. Okay. So roll bar with the big KC lights and the lights on the front. Oh, it was the greatest. I wanted so bad. My uncle, I was like, oh my God, my uncle is the cool stuff.
David Iyer said Ranchero and El Camino were open station wagons.
Right. Yep.
But truckish.
But they were a truck.
Mm-hmm. Sandy Iyer said, Johnny, check your Facebook messages. I sent you one after the broadcast. David Iyer said Ute. Wesley Wilkerson said, did you know that the Explorer is on the same exact chassis as the F10?
Okay.
Maybe. Did you know that the Explorer was built to replace the station wagon?
Well, let's somebody was talking about this earlier. I was watching a show. Other than the Ford Mustang, name another car Ford makes now.
The Escape.
They don't make those anymore.
Ford Escape.
They don't make them anymore.
Fusion.
Don't make them anymore.
Huh.
I don't think they make them. Look it up. 2005 Ford Fusion. Do they? Is there?
You mean 25?
2025 Ford Fusion.
2025 Ford Fusion.
Or just go 2025 Ford Cars.
Yeah, expected to be a significantly redesigned and updated version. Yeah, they make it
updated.
They make an Escape. They make a Fusion.
Escape is not that's a truck.
It's an SUV.
That's not a car.
The Fusion.
Is the Fusion a current car, or are they in redesign?
We will no longer be producing the Fusion.
Thank you.
Oh. So what are they making?
You tell me. They don't. It's all trucks.
What are Fords?
It's all trucks and all trucks and SUVs. Everybody's going SUVs now. If you look at most of the vehicles, are all SUVs.
SUV, crossover, truck, and car lineup with electric and hybrid choices.
And and why is that? Because everybody loved being in a truck, but didn't want to ride in a truck. So that's where all the Escalades and because people listen, go back and look at those old Suburbans, the old, the Blazers and all the stuff before. It was 4 seats. It was it was a little bit nicer,
Oh, they have just the Mustang. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only actual car they have.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Mm-hmm. Chevy has the Camaro, has the Corvette. What else?
Oh, it's Malibu anymore? No,
it's all SUVs. Oh, really? Maybe they might have they may still have the Malibu. Look it up. 2025 Malibu, 26.
2025 Chevy cars. Let's see. They've got the Malibu. Yep.
Okay, so they still are making cars.
Just that one.
Corvette. Malibu, Corvette, and Camaro.
Yeah. Everything else is a truck.
America has done nothing.
Crazy. Didn't even realize that. Wow.
Where did SUVs come from? Trucks.
Yeah.
Because trucks were trucks.
Cool.
And then they made Blazers, which was 4-door or 2-door, 4-passenger trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got, let's add another bench in the back. But we had Suburban. Suburban was, I think was there a 50 Suburban? I believe so. And then there was the Ford. They go further into the 40s.
Well, remember the Jeep Wagoneer was an SUV.
But we had 4-door multi-passenger truck on a truck frame, like the Ford Carryalls and stuff like that. So it was the best of both worlds, which is I can have a big utility vehicle, I can still haul stuff, and I can throw stuff in the back,
and still carry my family.
Still throw my family in there and shut that kid up because I'll turn this damn thing around.
Are we there yet? Gordon said 150 half ton, 250 3/4 ton, F350 1 ton. Right. And I thought that was a gross vehicle weight. I didn't realize
weight class. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is the weight.
That's what I knew. Okay. You said towing capability.
It is towing capabilities too.
Okay.
You can't listen. You can't tow a triaxle trailer with a big giant front loader with a F-150 really easy.
Are the dualies only the 350s, or do they make a 250 dually?
And there's a difference between a 250 and a 250 dually.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. You can have dually. You can get dually. I think you can get dualies in the lower packages too.
Michael said, I've been driving a truck since 1976.
Trucks are where it's at, man. So let's now we know the what. Why trucks? Hauling stuff, right?
Hauling stuff.
The capabilities of being able to just throw stuff in the back of a truck is the best for people in the automotive culture. I'll guarantee you, probably guys that have a hot rod also have a truck somewhere, because you want something to be able to throw an engine in there or parts or something, or to tow or whatever you needed to do. They probably have a vehicle that is their other vehicle is a pickup truck,
capable
or in that vein, because now we're a modern era. They may have a SUV, a bigger SUV, or something to that effect. Right. But I'm gonna bet any of you folks out there that do have hot rods and customs and stuff like that, do you also own a pickup truck?
Let us know. We've got Richard Hahn from Alpena joining us.
What's up, Richard Hahn from Alpene?
Lizzie said Uncle Jesse of the Dukes of Hazzard had a white truck.
He sure did.
I loved Uncle Jesse.
I thought I liked Cooter's tow truck. If I was gonna choose a truck,
Cooter's,
I'd go with Cooter's tow truck.
Rob said truck or Utes today are basically soccer mom cars. Oh no. See, so that's what they're turning into. Well, do you feel like what was once a cool utility vehicle used for stuff like that has become a luxury vehicle? Because look at your Jeep. You've got the leather package. Sure. It's beautiful.
Well, that's just it. They that goes back to, now there are companies like, for instance, Toyota is doing something. I don't know if they just released it this year or if it's coming next year, that I think is so awesome. Toyota is going to release a truck that is a basic roll up windows,
shut up,
manual transmission.
How are these kids going to drive these through?
It might have AC, it'll have digital radio, probably has navigation, all the technical stuff.
Backup camera, it's got to have one.
It may, but it's going to be these basic. It's going to be a basic pickup truck.
2-door or 4-door?
2-door.
Okay. All right.
As far as I understand.
I don't know where you're getting.
And I think it's great because those trucks lasted forever.
Yeah.
And really, that's when you go back and you look at the best of the best trucks, like the best of the best ones were all the ones with the lowest creature features. They had an amazing engine and an amazing transmission. The truck was built sturdy.
Who do you think made the better truck, Ford or Chevy?
Looking, well, we know. Well, hold on.
Dependability.
Hold on. We have more than just Ford and Chevy. That already says that you don't.
Dodge.
There's Ford, Chevy, Dodge.
GMC.
GMC is Chevy, but theirs do look different. There's some different packages. So let's go Dodge, Ford,
Subaru.
No. Really?
They had their B. B2000s or whatever it was. Oh, that was a Mazda.
That was Mazda. We're not going Japanese because that's a totally different category because that goes back into the lowriding thing, and or the mini trucking days, and that's a totally different.
U.S. only.
Well, if we're just going pickup trucks for the sake of pickup trucks,
okay.
Before they got big, like we're going full size pickup trucks.
Okay.
Because remember that's all. If you wanted a full size pickup truck, you bought American. It was when we started into the gas crunch and all those things is when people started looking for a truck that was of lower, a smaller engine, but could still do utilitarian things.
So who do you have? Ford, Chevy, Dodge. What else?
That's a Ford, Chevy, Dodge. Yeah.
Okay. What's your pick?
Chevy.
Even though they did you wrong.
Just the way they just such a nicer looking truck. That's Johnny's opinion.
So you like the way it looks.
There are some Ford F-150s that looked cool.
Well, what is it? It's Ford Tough. It's Ford Tough.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the Chevy?
Like a rock.
And then Dodge is what?
Ram Tough. Ram Tough.
Yeah.
Dodge boys. Yeah.
I don't know. Ford Tough.
And Dodge had, okay, so I have a love affair of like all of them. So here's the problem. Early Dodge, Squad 51 from the Emergency Show was a Dodge pickup truck. 2 versions of the early Dodge. I love that truck. So I have a love affair.
And you owned a Dodge for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
That doesn't count. I'm talking overall, the beauty, the cars, the beauty of them. Okay. So there's that. Then we go to Chevy, the Fall Guy. I mentioned Chips.
So you're buying cars just based on the TV shows you liked?
Yes. You didn't? It would be another truck would be, I want to say it was Hooper. I think had a cool Chevy truck in it. Okay. Then we go Ford. How do you not like Bigfoot? And that body style that Bigfoot was. That's an amazing Ford truck. So I love that body style. Ford.
Okay.
The early Bigfoot Ford. And then so I had Dodge, Chevy, Ford. Who did I leave out? That's it. Of the American full-size pickup trucks. Said. Now, if we start bringing in the import trucks that started coming in around the
70s,
early 60s. Gosh, I like them all. Toyota, the Datsuns were cool. The early Toyotas were not good, but I owned one, and they were not a good looking truck until we got into, I think it's 80. I think 80s when they did the new body change for Toyota, and from 80 until they got to the Tundras, and then some of those Tundras are ugly, but pretty much they were a solid, nice looking truck, no matter what package or whatever. And then America started making smaller trucks to compete. So, Mazda was a fantastic looking mini truck.
Right.
Fantastic. Horribly looking if you left it as a stock looking truck. I think they look terrible. But you start lowering that sucker down to the ground. Whew, that truck looks so good lowered. Chevy had the S10, early S10 square body trucks. Fantastic. Slammed on the ground. Then you get into Isuzus and those, they were okay. The Dodge D100, I think, was all right. That's just my opinion. What about you? What do you guys think out there? And what are your thoughts?
We've got Richard Hahn joining us. Us cool people have had trucks before they were cool. Wesley Wilkerson said T-Bird. Sam said Maverick. Michael Overby said Ford 500. Ford 500 GT.
Mm-hmm.
Michael said Cruise. Michael Overby said Suburban is classed as a station wagon for insurance, I believe. Oh. Yeah, they're redoing some of the classifications for those. David Iyer said International Travel All SUV.
Okay.
Mark?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for adding that in there. And also we could add Jeep because Jeep did have
the Jeep truck.
70s had the Jeep truck. It was called the Commando, and it was a cool looking truck. But it also looked, I mean, they utilized a lot of what they were using for the military,
right?
And the deuce and a half.
Well, and that was 41.
Yeah, that's when Jeep came out.
Yeah, so that would have been those. Heather Myers is joining us, and I know they have trucks. They've got their little farm operation going on at home over there. Hello, guys. Happy belated 4th. Michael Overby said no dually in the 250s, only on the 1-ton chassis.
Okay.
So I was correct. Thank you. Heather said safety. It's not for our truck. If not for our truck, he wouldn't have survived the accidents. Oh, Elvis.
Yeah.
In that accident. Yeah. I mean, the trucks do have, they're a little bit better built, probably, right? Bigger.
Well, again,
stronger.
you go to a full size pickup truck in comparison to a mini truck or small, these smaller car trucks that they're making now, which are built on car chassis. Probably the reason why, Elvis is the way survived what he did was he was driving a full size Dodge truck. I believe it was a Dodge, which has a full size steel chassis.
Yeah.
With a steel body around it still.
Well, she brings up safety, and that's a good point.
And that's the thing that as we started trying to lose weight, like as Ford started throwing in their smaller engine deals in the way to save weight to make those smaller engines work better in the full size trucks, they started using aluminum instead of steel. And I don't think it's so much access to steel. I think they were just trying to cut costs, and they certainly weren't cutting what they were charging for it.
Right.
But I think they were, a different way they were building them. But
Robert Earl said, "Here's a joke. Why did Daryl and John buy a truck for Hall and Oates?"
Dang.
Wesley Wilkerson said, "Why is it when I delete my comment on my end, it won't delete it on your end? The Explorer was built on the F-150 chassis." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know why it doesn't delete. Matt Williams said, "Good evening. Making progress on my 72 F100. I'll be posting pics."
Nice.
We installed a retrofitted radio with Bluetooth. It's definitely taking shape.
Nice.
Very cool.
Congrats.
Heather said Elvis wouldn't have survived. I know.
Yeah.
We're so thankful that he's okay. Michael said Toyota sells the Hilux all around the world except here.
Yes, and I think that's what it is now, which was when mine was I think was called that.
Helix? I don't think
Hilux, I think is what we called them, okay. But the Helix I think is maybe the new model of what I'm talking about. And a lot of different car in fact, there's a whole trend now going with these small basic type truck type things for electric now.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam
because
said
people want their trucks.
Sam said International Harvester.
Yeah, the international trucks, but those were like I consider those more
ranch trucks?
SUVs, but there was a truck version too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Richard Hahn said had a truck back in '68 and still have 4 trucks today. Yeah, I mean, would it be safe to say that you're a truck person then?
And again, if you look at us as a country compared to other countries, we are truck crazy in America.
Really?
Yeah. If you go to England and places like that, they're not.
What are they driving?
Small cars, cars,
Mini Coopers.
Not necessarily, but littler cars. Because roads are different. But you go, like, for instance, in Australia, the reason why the utilitarian vehicle, because they're still farming and ranching out there in Australia.
Yeah.
I would say they're, as far as kind of doing what we do, as far as still kind of, there are still areas where you gotta, there's big city, yet there's
the land.
Well, there's still farms and different things out there. There's, that are still going on in those countries where they're still using trucks. I think like India and those kinds of places overseas, or Arab nations. Mm-hmm. I think they're big into trucks as well, but they're more along the.
So they a
lot of
ditched the camels,
bigger trucks.
Ditched the camels, and now we're doing.
But trucks. I think they use a lot of bigger trucks. Yeah.
Well, they have to if it's sand. They need to use stuff that's
not specifically. I'm talking paved road, Beth.
Oh, okay. I've never been to India. I've only seen it in movies.
You understand? It's developed since the movie that you watched with the kid on the carpet, right?
Oh, Aladdin.
Yeah. Okay.
Joseph Rogowski joining us. Happy belated Independence Day. I like the drawing of your surf truck. Yeah, that was a concept thing that you posted.
Yeah. See, and again, I made it a truck.
Another truck.
Yeah.
We've got Doc Rick joining us. The Beverly Hillbillies truck was actually a 1920 Oldsmobile Model 46, a car cut in half to make a cab with a flatbed. So even a car owner wants a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
I had a perfectly good 4-door or 2-door Volkswagen that hauls 4 people, and I said, 4 people? Get them out of here. I only need 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Let's throw a truck bet on it, and we'll make a truck.
Glenn Belfiore.
That can't haul anything. So I'm really driving, the first real versions. Like I'm a callback to the first versions of these newer type, like Mavericks and stuff, where it's a truck, but it's not really, you can't really haul anything.
Glenn Belfiore.
Just kidding,
don't forget Simon and Simon's truck.
I'm gonna have to go back and let me look it up. Hold on.
Simon and Simon, that was like were they like detectives? I remember
so. Simon and Simon pickup truck.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Let me see.
Well, that was a Dodge. No. Yeah. It was a Power Wagon.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Michael said Nissan, Toyota both make a full-size truck.
Right now they do. Right.
Yeah.
But
Lizzie said Gravedigger. Well, that's a whole different type of truck.
Well, that's
that's a monster truck.
It's more of but it's like a suburban. Well, actually, it's more of a what do they call those? I'm blanking right now. It's not a panel van. It's a yeah. Mm-hmm. It's one of those. It's Gravedigger.
Gordon said Chevy #1, but have at least one of each.
Oh, nice.
And yes, Heather said that they had a Dodge 2500.
Yeah.
Safety first. That's a great point. We weren't even discussing that. Johnny's all about how it looks.
Yeah.
But you got a mom out there and she's like, you know what? Safety is #1. Wesley Wilkerson said Johnny forgot about the International. Yep.
I did. And I apologize for that.
And that's American made?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
Even though the name.
I mean, again, I didn't mention Jeep either until they forgot about the Jeep trucks that were available.
Michael said Jeep had a full-size truck back in the day.
Yep.
Sam,
and also a mini truck.
Sam said Chevy Loves were really cool little trucks.
Yes. Also another truck that when you threw, oh man, come on, 70s style Chevy Love. Littles in the front, fat wheels in the back, some side pipes, moonroof.
He's digging it.
Come on now.
Come on.
Chevy Loves were so cool. I loved them.
We've got Howard Pierpont joining us, 83, almost full moon in Mineola, Texas tonight.
Nice.
Welcome, Howard.
Howard.
We've got Gary Miller just stopping by to say hi. Love watching you both when I'm between gigs. Tell Johnny I've got a black custom Ford pickup with a big black block. He'd really dig.
Yes.
Nice.
Big block.
Howard Pierpont said Comanche in the late 70s and 80s with a French engine.
Okay.
A Jeep Comanche.
Is
that what it is?
Maybe.
Jeep Comanche?
Yeah, maybe.
Matt Williams said there's a 68 Ford pickup that's fixed up like a monster truck at a salvage yard. It has sat along the boulevard in Caldwell, Idaho since I was a little kid. Only time it's moved is when it was repainted.
Oh, wow. See, and I'm going to bet you looked at that thing all the time and went, oh, man. One day I'm going to have a monster truck.
Howard said EPA requirements were targeted at automobiles. SUVs and pickups were exempt. Oh.
Yeah. That was it was an advantage of trucks, yeah, for a while.
Michael Overby said frickin' Ford Ranger. Howard Pierpont said Mac is building a pickup in 2025.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Mary and Dan Evans said Europe has littler roads. They would know. They've been over there a number of times. Howard said Saudi put a request for thousands of pickups. Ford and GM laughed. Toyota took the bid. Oh.
Yeah, right. Toyota is huge in the Arab nations for sure.
And the Toyotas, I feel like, hold their value more. And is it just because of
build quality?
Is it so better than Ford and Chevy?
Build quality,
more dependable.
Just build quality all around.
Is it the luxury part of it that they're bringing to it? No. Okay.
Mm-mm. No, if you look at the early Toyotas, like I said, from the early 70s. I mean, I'm sure Toyota's making trucks. I think even in maybe 60s, but like I had a 79.
Was it an SR5? Is that what the Toyota?
R20 SR5. Well, they had the SR5. Yeah. It was the engine that was in it. Was the R22 engine. It was an inline 4, I think. Just such a, was it inline 4? I don't know, but it was an R22, and that motor was in so many different vehicles. They had it in the camper, they had it in the big truck, all the different varieties of trucks, and it was just such a great engine, and it lasted forever. I think you might have like a blown head gasket for a year, and it still
ran
until I got it fixed, and then it was not expensive to fix. And in fact, during, I think it was like mid 80s, you could order, because in Japan they were making them, once they got to a certain mileage, they had to get rid of the engine, put a new engine in most of the cars. So you could order engines from Japan really cheap, and I think that's what a lot of people were doing. That's how we were getting engines, used engines, for a really good price.
Rob Earl said, we're similar to America. Big spaces and distance, and trucks, utes are everywhere here.
Right.
Harry Pierpont said, I can tell you about the India big trucks. Michael Overby said, we called them jingle trucks in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah.
Glenn said, Rick from Simon & Simon had a power wagon.
Yeah.
And then he says, Dodge, baby. David Iyer said, Rocky Truck, Rockford Files. I don't remember that one either.
Rockford Files. I remember his I think he had a Pontiac, didn't he? Also, Rockford Files truck. Oh yeah. He had a Chevy, also.
Dan Evans said panel wagon.
Panel wagon. Yep.
Okay. Glenn said, what about Roadkill's Stubby?
Which I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this Rockford Files truck didn't get repainted and put in other shows, because that almost looks like the same exact package that what's his name gets for the Fall Guy.
Matt Williams said the 78 Ford from Urban Cowboy. Yeah, we were talking about that one earlier. Tom Walter said Studebaker produced trucks from the 30s until the 60s.
Hello. See what I'm saying? Yeah.
So quickly he forgets.
Well, I wasn't talking about early trucks, because we would really, if we're going to talk early trucks of the ones I really liked, I was talking when I was able to finally have a truck, or think about even getting a truck. Wouldn't have been, well, I guess I could have still gone back and got older stuff.
From the 60s. You could have got one from the 60s.
Well, that's just it. 66, early 60s C10.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Beautiful truck. Then you go to the F100s. Gorgeous.
Glenn said, what about the black Toyota in Back to the Future? Yeah. That is iconic. And they're bringing it back, right? Didn't we see some new ones?
Well, they had brought it back.
The Back to the Future theme or whatever.
Yeah, they did do that. Toyota did a thing. And then there's been people that have taken their newer Tundras and stuff and Back to the Future them. Remember, we saw one.
Yeah. Glenn said, yep, R22 is an inline 4. Sam Metro said Hudson produced pickups for a few years.
There we go. Yep.
Mama Lee Case joining us. Stubby Bob from Roadkill.
That was a cool truck as well, with the big giant engine in the back doing wheelies the whole time. So, I mean, that's the cool part about a truck, is there's so much versatility. You can make it. You can make it a hot rod. You can make it a low rider. You can make it a lifted truck. You can make it a Bigfoot. You can make it
soccer mom.
You can soccer mom the heck out of it. You can go to the job site, and you know what I mean. There's so much versatility in the pickup truck, which is why I think it's captured America for sure, that we love our pickup trucks. We've
got Rabuli Marco joining us. Hello, Johnny. I lived in Brazil, Curitiba City.
What's the pickup truck scene like in Brazil? Let us know.
We're at 10:34 already. We have gone an entire hour talking about. I didn't think we'd have much material, but oh my goodness!
And 27 people hung in to
quite
listen
a bit to talk about trucks.
To us ramble on about knowing nothing really about trucks and guessing most of the time.
Do we have any T-shirts with trucks?
Well, Johnny Five's a truck.
It is, but a traditional truck. I don't think we do.
No.
I don't even think we do.
I don't think we do.
That's going to be a
we
t-shirt
have Vans.
design.
We have a couple of Van shirts. So yeah, we
do have the Vans.
Let's do a pickup truck one.
We need to do a pickup truck and get a pickup truck t-shirt. I would love to see a C10 because those are probably one of my favorites.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
again.
anything.
Like I said, early 60s or late 60s trucks was the Chevy, and it was my uncle's K5 Blazer, and it was just.
You have our Godspeed Surf as a truck.
Right. Oh, well, and then Jalopy Life is a truck.
And Jalopy's Hooker Service is a truck.
And Jalopy Hooker Service is a truck.
Guess we do have some trucks.
Hey, the Sketchy Live
Beach Cruiser is a truck.
Not really.
No?
No, that's like a Phaeton. But the Sketchy Live t-shirt, which, by the way, do you have a Sketchy Live t-shirt? If you don't, you should get one.
Go get it.
It's got a truck on it.
Get it.
Hauling a surfboard with a big giant blower on the front of it. Come on.
Come on now.
So again, it's hot rod and a truck.
Heather said, have 4 trucks, 2 Dodge Ram 1500s, the 59 Apache, and a K20. And then his Dodge 2500.
The Apache's great.
Wow.
Such a cool truck.
Rabuli Marco, my car is a bus, Volkswagen 75.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the scene like though? Is in Brazil, are there pickup trucks or utility trucks? Is there a lot of that there, or is it mostly
cars,
passenger cars? I know Volkswagens are huge in Brazil, so
yeah.
And I'm sure if people needed a truck, they probably have done exactly what I did, which is turn their VW into a pickup truck.
Sam Metro said, hope you all have a blessed week.
Thanks for hanging out.
One of the good things about having a truck is the classic saying, keep on trucking.
That's right. You can say that, and you're not
say that.
You're not posing because you're truly keeping on trucking.
Guys, what a fun topic tonight.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you picked this.
Thanks for hanging out with us here at Sketchy Live, the podcast, talking about trucks. Again, we sure appreciate you. Head on over to the website, johnnyjalopy.com, where we have t-shirts with trucks on it. And you can order your Johnny Jalopy trucker.
We have a few left. Grab them while you can.
Trucker hats.
Yes.
The limited edition red, white, and blue one, which is doing well. And our OG black and white version.
And the beanies. You guys are coming up on cooler weather here soon. I know you don't want to hear it.
Which are not truck hats, but truck drivers do wear beanies.
They do.
And they wear trucker hats. So it's a truck theme here.
It really is.
So truck on down and grab yourself some Jalopy merch. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us. And don't forget, we have the July special still going on, $200. Get your car drawn up. If you'd like to, just message me and let me know. We'll get you on the schedule.
Keep them busy, guys.
I got room. But we've had some takers, which has been great. So thank you to those folks. Thank you again to Al Schaefer for the cool t-shirt. Thank you all for watching Sketchy Live and hanging out with ADB and I, talking about trucks. What do you know about trucks? What's your favorite truck? Hit it in the comments, please.
Yes.
Hit it in the comments. Let us know.
Like and share.
Yes. And next week, we'll talk about vans.
Really?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Because vans are cool, too.
They are cool.
I always wanted a van.
They're versatile as well.
Yeah.
Utilitarian.
You can do a lot of things in a van that you can't do in a truck.
I got to tell you,
I have done some stuff
my
in a
Dodge
truck.
Ram van with the purple curtains.
I've done stuff in trucks you shouldn't do in a truck.
As have I in vans.
That's why you have 4 kids.
I had 3. But thank you. All right, guys. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Until then,
as always,
stay sketchy.
Stay sketchy. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Peace.